Hello, beautiful people. Hello. Well, I am back with Journey 2, or the part 1 of I Matter, Redesign Your Lives. Let me get ready. Let me see, share the screen. Here we go. Let me share it. There we are. Let me bring myself further down here onto the bottom. And we're going to get started from our current slide. Okay, this is Journey 2, and remember we were talking about how we have an upcoming event. I have an upcoming event. Mind you, my name is Donnie Brownhill. I'm America's Better Life Strategist, and this is Journey 2 because we want to make sure the people that do come to the event in September 15th will be able to be on track and be ready to move to the next part, which is the part 2 is Journey, Journey. Actually, it is it's not that I don't love you, I just love me too. And it's about redesigning your relationships, and that is in September. And I don't understand. There we go. It's back. It's working now. Alrighty, that's not the screen I wanted. We already did the rant. And let's see, here we go. I Matter. Redesign Our Life Journey 2, and we will be going over Journey 2, No Longer Holding My Breath, My Values. I think that a lot of times we talked earlier about when I said I won't sell my soul, and the reason I think of it like that is because my soul to me is the core who I am and all that matters. Because through that I see myself and others. I'm able to have empathy, compassion, and love for others and for myself. And my values are what this just takes me where I want to go, and that is part of my soul. So let's look at your values, because are you living according to your values? And remember, there is the book. It is on my website, www.donniebrown-hill.com, and you can get the workbook to follow along. Um, I'm taking each journey one day at a time. We actually had an event over 3 hours, and we went through the entire workbook. And people still had homework to do and things to work on. We weren't able to accomplish everything in there together, but I gave you the foundation, and that's the reason why I'm doing this video. I want to make sure that people who are going to come later on, or even people who don't even make it to our events, are able to get this workbook and start working on redesigning your life. So let's get to the next one. Okay, step 1. When it comes to your values, and let me try to be still because I love to sway and I love talking with my hands. So maybe what I should do is just talk with my hands and keep myself still, so you won't have to be watching me wiggle around. Um, what matters? What's most important to you? And I want you to look at the list of values. And let's me move my screen myself over here. I want you to look at the values, and of course you can add your own values if your values are not listed here, but I want you to go ahead and I want you to mark down 10. I want you to circle 10 values that are very important to you, because our values guide you, and those are the things that you believe they're important. Just think about if you have a mother and she says that her family and her spirituality and her independence is important to her. Well, if she's one that works a lot of hours, and now her family needs to be around her, and if they're important to her. And I was thinking about that when I said it, because she works very long doesn't mean that she's not giving quality time. And that's something that we have to remember, just because a lot of times we look into people's lives and we're so judgmental. But this woman who may actually be working very hard, she may only be working very hard for maybe 8 weeks at a time. And then once, every, or maybe the 9th week, she may take off and go spend time with her family. And they understand that, for 8 weeks, mommy really has to work hard. And then we're going to take time and to be with each other, have quality time together. And sometimes we think just because someone is in the home or they're closer to them, they're always with them, that they're getting quality time. Quantity and quality are two different things. And you really should think of that when you think about your values. And when you think about your values, don't let other people's narratives become your story. Don't let someone else tell you what is true for them, and then you start believing it's true for you. Because if it doesn't feel right for you, then change it. Go in a different direction. I don't care if it's your mom, it could be your teacher, your pastor, whatever. If it doesn't feel right for you, you might want to just contemplate that a little bit and, sit some quiet time and find out, okay, what's really important to me and how do I want to live my life? So go ahead and pick out 10. Like I said, you should be picking 10 out. And then I want you to imagine that you only have 5 now. So that means you have to mark 5 off. So make it fast. And when you do this process, just do it fast. Fast. I'm not going to be there to time you or keep telling you go, 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 go. So I want you to get the book out. When you start doing your values, mark your 10. And then I want you to mark 5 off. Real fast. Just look through. Okay, what are my top 5? What matters to me more than anything? Then I want you now to imagine that you only have 3. And if you want to, you can just go to 4. You want to mark 1 off and then mark another one off. It's up to you. So you can go to 3, but you need to have 3. What are your 3 top values? What do you value more than anything? And that may take some time for you to think about it, but that's the reason why I want you to go through it real fast, because we're going to see if things line up in your life. Okay. Next thing is, why is this? It's just taking its time. It's taking its time. There it is. Now I want you to write down your top 3 heart values. What are the 3 values that you said were most important to you? So you write those down. Okay, after that, step 3. You need to ask yourself this question. Does my life, work, and relationships help fulfill my personal values, and how? And that's why I wanted you to go through them really fast. Because you may find out the ones that you pick, they may not be the way you're living. Or you may find out the ones you pick may be the way you want to live. Same thing, right? Different way of saying it. One person heard it that way, one person heard it the other way. The values are important, beliefs are true, and our experiences are reality. If you ever think about it, those 3 things, values, beliefs, and experiences, people will fight you over. They will challenge you. They will have an argument with you over, because those things are real to them. What they value is very important to them. Their beliefs are true to them, and their experiences are the reality. So that's why sometimes you'll hear someone say, I had a conversation with a young lady, and my daughter was with me, and she was a single parent. She had been married for 10 years. They had 4 children, and they had been divorced. She didn't have children until maybe a year or 2 in their relationship. And she was just very shooken by the fact that he had tapped out, that he no longer wanted to be a father, and he no longer wanted to have a relationship with her. And she couldn't understand why it worked out this way, because she did it right. Her belief was that, well, her value, first and more, her important value was her family. Her beliefs were that she was supposed to wait to get married to have sex, then she would have children, and then she believed that they would live happily ever after. Here I go again. Anyway, sorry. Oh, okay, let me start over. Happily ever after. And it didn't happen. So her experience was, it doesn't matter what you do. It's just not going to work out. And I've been a single mother, and it's hard, and I don't appreciate this. And you wouldn't understand because you're married and you don't know what it means to be a single mother. And my daughter made a comment to her. And my daughter at the time was 17. And the truth is, just because there's a dad or a mom in the house doesn't mean that one parent isn't doing everything, and it's like they're a single parent. And just because someone's in the house with you or living with you or in the bed with you doesn't mean that you're not struggling just like a single parent. But see, people can't get outside themselves a lot of times. So here's someone judging another person, not knowing exactly what's going on in their home because they see you with someone. Just because you're with someone doesn't mean they're being productive and also being loving in your relationship. So when it comes to these 3 things, people will They will challenge you. They will argue with you because values, beliefs, and experiences. And just know that, because a lot of times what happens when people are ready to have a disagreement with you, it's you have challenged, you have gone against what they value, what they believe, and what they experience. Now what I want you to do is I want you to look at your life, and I want you to really think about, are your values lining up with your life, your work, and your relationship? What beliefs do you have? What experiences are making it so that you may be struggling in these areas? So the next step is, if it will let me go, why is it so slow today? Okay, I think we're gonna have yeah, okay. What I want you to do is I want you to check your pulse. Here's an acronym again. I love my acronyms. My acronyms. I love my acronyms. I think I'll make a song out of my acronyms. That's not a bad idea. But anyway, I love my acronyms. So check your pulse. And I want you to check your pulse. And of course, this acronym stands for Promise Yourself, Unconditional Love, Legacy, Self-Talk, and Execution. So when you look at your values and you look at your life, I want you to check your pulse. Okay, check your pulse. See if you're. What have you promised yourself you would do or no longer do, and you have not executed? Goes against your values. Where can you be more forgiving and understanding to others? How are you showing unconditional love? And how are you showing it to yourself, to be honest? A lot of times we don't show it to ourselves because you can't give to others what you can't give to yourself. So if you can't forgive yourself, you're not going to be able to forgive other people. So you got to start coming from that space that there is no right or wrong. It is what it is. I'm not saying there's anything morally wrong in this world. What I'm saying is things are just what they are. And we struggle because we want it to be different. That resistance. Okay. Legacy. What do you want to be in this situation? Who do you want to be in this situation? And that's something a lot of times we don't think about. Because sometimes we come from a place of, I'm going to be right. I believe this to be true, so it has to be true. And you know what? You need to understand how it should be. But you don't know where they came from a lot of times. And people don't tell you everything. And if you pay attention, if you're quiet long enough, you can actually figure out a person's upbringing, their values, their beliefs, their experiences. And sometimes it's just best in some situations where you have no opinion because it doesn't really matter, because it's not your life. And if it is your life, sometimes it still doesn't really matter because it's not significant in your life. And that's where your values come in. Your values will let you know what's really significant in your life. Do I really need to challenge this? Is this really going to affect how I live? And a lot of times we don't challenge things that are going to affect the way we live. We just go with the flow. Self-talk. The most important. Who do you talk to more than anyone? Yourself. And what are you saying to yourself? I was just driving today. I went and got me a coffee, iced coffee, and I was driving and I said, I love you. And I'm the only one in the car. I said, I love you. I like you. I have to be able to give that to myself in order to give that to other people. And I really do like me. I mean, I'm not saying that I don't have beauty in the beast, because the truth of the matter, we all have beauty in the beast. Beauty is that part of us that's loving, compassion, and caring. Beast is that part of us that will say no, will defend, will destroy if necessary. And sometimes we're just downright rude and insensitive, because it happens sometimes. Depends on where you are in the month, And we don't understand that it takes both Beauty and the Beast together for us to be whole. Because when you understand that you are both, you become whole. You become all that you need to be, because you're able to have a cup to be filled by others, and you're able to give to others. But when you got it like this, you got a hole going on. But when you become whole, you're able to give wholly to other people and wholly to yourself. Same thing. You just got to keep it together. And there's nothing wrong with being both. I live in a state that's very religious, and I find that a lot of people here are behavioral religious people. Behave good so you can go to heaven. Do the things that look good so people think you're good. Not that you're a good person, not that your intentions and your actions and your heart don't line up. It doesn't matter about that. Just look good. What are you telling yourself? What are you telling yourself? Are you telling yourself, that I'm ugly, I'm fat, or you're saying just negative things to yourself? You have to check your pulse. You have to look at your values and see, okay, why would I say such a thing to myself? That's not what I value. I value positivity. I value independence. Don't, just really pay attention to what you're saying to yourself. And execution. Execution. What do you have the power to do right now? Now, not tomorrow, now. What can you do right now? A lot of times we'll put things off. I'm guilty. I'm still overweight. You'll hear a lot about that because that is one of my greatest struggles, and I don't understand why it is, because I used to be in the military. I got up at 5 o'clock every morning and worked out, and I think it's more of I'm gonna do what I want to do. Well, I am doing what I want to do. I'm overweight, and it is not working out. I don't like it, and I'm telling you, by the end of the year, you're gonna see a different Donnie, because as long as I'm telling you about it, you're gonna challenge me. You're gonna make sure that I understand. Hey, Donnie, what self-talk are you telling yourself? What's your legacy? Are you checking your own pulse? And exactly, I'm not checking my pulse all the time, and I need to. So what can you do right now that you have the power to do? You have to remember, you can't change anybody. So don't get to this place where you think, well, if I do this, and I can't stand that manipulative little thing we do as women. Men have it too, but I'm not going to talk about them. We think we do this and the reaction is going to be that, and it doesn't always turn out that way, because you can't change people. You can't make someone become what you need them to be. They have to want to be that. So we'll talk about that in relationships. Now, the next thing, let's see if it's going to go to next. There we go. So that is the end. So you're going to check your pulse. You're going to check your pulse by what you promise yourself: unconditional love, legacy, self-talk, and execution. So what you have to promise yourself you would do no longer, and you didn't execute. What did you promise yourself? Think about that. Unconditional love, are you giving it to yourself and giving it to others? Your legacy, how do you want to be in any given situation? And I'm talking about any given situation because it all adds up. Every little seed you plant eventually turns into something. Self-talk, what are you saying to yourself? And execution, what are you going to do? What can you do now? What can you do? Not anybody else but you. Alrighty, so I think I finished with Journey 2. Well, I finished with Journey 2 of I Matter, Redesigning Your Life. Any questions? My contact form on www.donniebrown-hill.com. You can go there. Also, remember, if you do complete the Beauty and the Beast session and you are wanting to have that free 30-minute session with me to walk through that, feel free to schedule that, and we will talk about it and work through that so I can help you to your own healing and your self-discovery and your self-love. For those of you who don't know me, here I go again with the ums. I thought my hand movement would help me with that. My name is Donnie Brown-Hill. I'm America's Better Life Strategist. What I currently do is I go around different cities in the United States, and I do what you call little pop-ups. Most of the time, there may be friends, and sometimes they're just a group of people to come together, usually no more than 10. And what we do is we discuss equanimity living. And if you know, equanimity means nothing more than being having a calm presence through the storm of life, not allowing your emotions to be swayed by a given situation. Some people confuse that with being cold and careless and not compassionate for other people. But if you can come from the place of being centered and still, what happens is you can actually see the whole picture of things, and you can see the person in it. And what we don't do a lot of times is we don't allow for us to be still enough to hear what we need to hear in the silence. Because see, the answers do come in the silence. So let me leave you with that. I will be back with Journey 3, and we will be talking about, what will we be talking about? Let me see if I can find out. We'll be talking about, what are we talking about? Journey 3. There we go. Journey 3. Exhaling, loving yourself and others. All right. So we'll be back for that. Again, if you have any questions, go to www.donniebrown-hill.com. Use my contact form and ask any question that you like. If you'd like to schedule a free 30-minute session to go through your Beauty Bee letters, most definitely contact me for that. Again, it is free. And I want to leave you with this, that you are enough. There is nothing wrong with you. And the only thing you're trying to get back to is wholeness, because that's how you came into the world. Many blessings to each and every one of you who've taken time to listen, and Godspeed to wholeness. And let me end the video. Alrighty, guys. See you later. Bye.